Okay, everybody. Today we need to do another update to the December CIB trade. And it's been about a week and a half or so since the last video. I think that was on November 3rd or so. Today's November 12th. Um, so in that time, we've just sort of been, actually, let's go ahead and look at the daily chart just to see. So November 3rd was right here. Since that time, the Russell pushed up a little bit, and now it's come back off quite a bit. It never quite hit this 1200-ish area, or I guess it got really close right in there, and it turned around and it headed back down. So on the daily time frame, we're sort of right in the middle of our expiration break-even lines, and that's good for the trade. But we are running into some issues with the T+0 line. So this is a picture of the position right now as it sits, and it includes all the adjustments and everything. And so one of the things we notice is the delta starting to get a little bit positive here, and the trade itself is up money. It's up about let's call it $300 or so, something like that. And we're right in the middle of the tent. So really, if you wanted to, you could sort of do nothing here. But the problem in my mind is that this delta is getting a little bit long, and the market's coming down. And so if the market continues down, that long delta is not going to be very favorable, and it's going to hurt us. So this is a good example of when we might want to use the peeling process to take off part of the position. And so what we have here is we have the 1140, 1145 condor, essentially, the 1160 butterfly, and then also the 1180 butterfly. So the lower side of the 1180 butterfly is down here around 1130, and we've basically traded right down past the short strike of that if we were only looking at the 1180 butterfly. And that's probably the position it makes the most sense to take off. So I'm looking at this here, and I have a couple of trades in to analyze. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to analyze the sale of the 1130, 1180, 1230 butterfly. And so if I select that, we end up in a position that looks like this. And so obviously we're getting a little bit longer delta than we want to be if we do that. So I have three IWM calls. I have the 115, the 116, and the 118. And what I'm looking to do here is just take off a little bit of this delta. So if we were to sell off the highest one of those, that 118, it brings us into a position that looks like that. So our delta basically goes flat, maybe -1, something like that. We have a good amount of room here on the downside before we even start to run into trouble. If the market trades back up here higher to this 1190-ish area, that's fine. We can always add back on the 1180 butterfly, or we can roll up the 1140, 1145. There are a few different things, but right now the trade is really, it's even above profit target, but just based on where the market is, we'll let it run a little bit longer. So I'm going to go ahead and submit orders here to get out of this 118 call, and then we'll also get out of this 1180 butterfly. But we're probably going to be looking for an exit from the trade relatively soon, sometime within the next few days.